Hi guys, Heather here. Today we are going to be doing the Get to Know Me tag. The reason that we're doing this tag today is because my allergies have been really bugging me and my eyes have actually been really swollen lately. So forgive my appearance for today because it is not pretty, but I thought I would take this chance to kind of give you some details. And we have the Get to Know Me tag. I have all the questions written. And there are 30 of them, so we are just gonna blow through these as fast as humanly possible. But let's be real here, it's me, so it's probably gonna take a while. Get a drink and a snack. And I'm sorry in advance. So with that, let's get started. Number 1, what is your middle name? My middle name is Nicole. My first name was picked out by my dad, and my mom got to pick my middle name, and so they liked the name of Heather Nicole. They thought that sounded really nice together, so that is my middle name. Number 2, what is your favorite color? My favorite color, I always say, is seafoam green, but that is very specific. The reason that I say seafoam green is because my favorite color is actually the Crayola version of seafoam green, which to most people looks kind of like a mint green, so it's kind of mint or seafoam green-esque. I like it with a little bit more blue to it than yellow, but that's my favorite color. Number 3, who was your first best friend? My very first best friend was, well, my mom and I talked about this because I was trying to come up with all the names and everything. And the first person that I considered my best friend was a girl named Emily. She is someone that I used to live next door to, and we used to play together all the time. There are some great anecdotes that I could tell you about, chicken pox together, and we were in the same class, so when one kid in the class got chicken pox, everybody got chicken pox. Number 4, how tall are you? I am 5'4", which is taller than my mom, but still not very tall. Number 5, cats or dogs? I am more of a dog person. Growing up, we always had dogs, so the reasoning for that was because my mom was allergic to cats, and as it turns out, I am too. Although recently, I am kind of wondering if there are some types of dogs that I'm also allergic to too. That might be the issue with the allergy thing, but we'll see how that turns out. But honestly, I'm more of a dog person than a cat person. Number 6, funniest moment throughout school. My go-to funny moment for school actually happened when I was in college. I started off by going to the University of Montana, but about halfway through I decided that maybe I wanted a more artistic turn, so I stopped going there and then went to the Art Institute in Seattle. And while I was there, I realized that while I love photography, that's what I was looking to major in, it was actually more of a hobby than a career path for me. And the reason that I knew this is because I was sitting in a class and the professor said, "Can anyone tell me what the first 2 elements are?" And my hand shot up as fast as it could because I was like, yes, I have this one, I know this one. Needless to say, he did not mean on the periodic table, which is what I was going to say, and yeah, that's when I realized this is maybe not where I should be. I actually texted my mom and was like, yeah, I don't think this is the right place for me. I did it like right then and there, and we had a good laugh about it. But yeah, that's my funniest moment, was realizing that while I love photography and it's a lot of fun, that it's probably not my career path. That was number 6. Number 7, how many countries have you visited? I have been to 5. I have been to Canada. Of course, I live in the United States. I have been to France and England. And then I went to Jamaica on my honeymoon. Are you in college or have you graduated from college? I have graduated from college. I graduated from the University of Montana because after the Art Institute, I went back to the University of Montana. I ended up getting my degree in forensic anthropology, which was a blast and something that most people are like, you worked with bones, like human bones? And yeah, I've always been interested in human anatomy. I was very interested in sports medicine. I was actually pre-med for quite a while in school. And then I decided to go ahead and take the anthropology route and go into forensic anthropology. What was your favorite or worst subject in high school? Oh man. Okay. My favorite subject in high school was definitely sports medicine. I had to think about it because typically people think about English and math and science and all, but I went to a school that actually allowed you to have some electives that were kind of out of the box. I did do forensic science, which I thought was also super fascinating, but that was only 2 classes out of my entire high school career. Sports med, I started my sophomore year and I continued to do it throughout my entire high school career. So I'm gonna go with sports med. And my worst was definitely by far English. Number 10, what is your favorite drink? My favorite drink is water. The reason that I went with water, I don't know if you care, but it's because recently I've actually given up soda. I used to really be addicted to root beer. Anytime root beer was an option, that's what I went with. And I kind of just decided that I wanted to try and drink more water, and in the process of doing that, I ended up just giving up soda altogether. So my favorite drink right now is water. What is your favorite animal? My favorite animal from the age of, well, like birth until probably 2 or 3 years ago was frogs. And they are still one of my favorite animals. I still love and adore frogs, anything frog. But my current obsession is owls. I love owls. I cannot get enough owls. And so I say that it's frogs and owls. What is your favorite perfume? My favorite perfume is Amazing Grace. It is by the brand Philosophy. It is a very sweet perfume. I know I've talked a lot about it, so I'm not going to go into great detail, but that is my current obsession. I cannot get enough of it. Tea or coffee? Yes, I live in Seattle. I do not drink coffee. I love tea. I am definitely a tea drinker. I think that is because when I was really little, I went to take a sip out of my grandfather's drink. He had like a mug, which normally was filled with water. So I took a big drink of it, and it was not water, it was coffee, and I was not prepared for that. So it kind of turned me off at a very young age. For that reason, I definitely am not a coffee drinker. I will drink it if I absolutely have to. It's not like I can't, but I'm definitely a tea girl. Number 14, what would you or have you named your children? As I've mentioned, I am married. We do not have any kids yet. We do eventually want to have kids, but we haven't exactly decided on the names for our kids. Number 15, what sport do you or have you played? When I was little, I did baseball and I did dance for a little bit, very little bit. But the main sport in my background is definitely gymnastics. I did gymnastics for 14 years and I loved every minute of it. It was amazing. I did fracture my back and my leg, which is kind of where my gymnastics career kind of started to take a turn, and it did end up coming to an end fairly shortly after. I mean, those injuries did heal and I did go back to it, but it just wasn't the same. And so gymnastics has been a very big part of my life for all of my life. But I did also play baseball, and yes, that is baseball, not softball. my parents had to fight very, very hard at the time to make sure that they didn't put me in a softball league, because they would assume that with me being a girl, that my parents had just mismarked on the sign-up sheets and that I wanted to be in softball. So we'd have to fight every single year to make sure that I was in baseball, because I preferred baseball over softball. I think that was mainly because my dad played baseball and I really, really, really looked up to him. He is one of my heroes and I love him to pieces. I'm definitely a daddy's girl and kind of a mama's girl, but definitely a daddy's girl, and so I really wanted to play baseball. What is your favorite book? My all-time... Okay, I'm going to answer this question a little bit differently, because my favorite book is a very depressing book. It's called 13 Reasons Why. It is the book that had the biggest impact on me. This book has, in many ways, changed my outlook a lot on life, because I think people don't oftentimes take into account the way that their actions affect others. And I always equate it to a raindrop in a lake, how when it rains and the very first raindrop hits, it creates that ripple effect and it affects the rest of the water. 13 Reasons Why is a book that is about a girl who did commit suicide, but before she did, she made 13 different tapes, one for each person that affected her decision. And she writes a letter explaining to the first person, and so on and so forth. So I won't say much more. It is a very somber book. It is something that, as I read it, I cried, and it made me, frankly, kind of depressed to read. But at the same time, it had such an impact on my life. Every time I'm in a bad place, or every time someone I know is in a bad place, or even just when you're out and about and I notice that someone seems to be cranky, I always try and smile at them, because you never know what your actions are going to do to help that person's day. So that book had the biggest impact on me, and therefore I consider it my favorite book, even though it is a very, very depressing and sad book. It is very meaningful and very impactful. Number 17, who are some of your favorite YouTubers? So my all-time favorite YouTubers are Kathleen Lights and Jaclyn Hill. Those two are like my top two. Jaclyn Hill was the first YouTuber I ever watched, and Kathleen Lights was the first YouTuber that I felt like I really connected with. I really admire them. A couple of my other really favorites to watch, though, are Manny MUA. I like Patrick Starr. I love Jeffree Star. He is a crack up. Nikki Tutorials. Let's see, am I missing any on my list? I think those are, Jam Beauty 89. And I think those are my main, the ones that I like watch every single one of their videos. Number 18, what is your favorite movie? Oh, this is a hard one, and it seems to always change, but the one that is consistently my favorite movie is The Notebook. Shouldn't be that big of a surprise. I'm a big romantic, so The Notebook is definitely one of my favorites. Number 19, are you single or are you taken? Well, I'm married, so therefore I am taken. Number 20, what is your idea of an ideal first date? My first date with my husband is my ideal first date. We went out to dinner. It was Valentine's Day, and he brought me flowers, and he took me out to the nicest restaurant that he knew of, and he also worked with his mom. His mom is a jewelry maker, and she helped him pick out some of the beads, but he put it all together himself. He made me a bracelet that I still have to this day. It is one of my favorite memories ever. And he was the look on his face was just so amazing when he gave me that bracelet, because he was very proud of it, and that just warmed my heart, and that is my ideal first date. How many boyfriends have you had? Including my husband, I have had 4. Number 22, what is your favorite memory from your childhood? I have a few, but one of my favorite memories from my childhood was a stuffed unicorn that I ran around with, and I cannot remember the unicorn's name, but it was like one of those little purses that you like hold by the handles, and my mom, actually, I was asking her about it, and she was like, I don't even remember you having that. Well, at one point, I took it everywhere, so at one point she took it away from me to wash it, and I don't think I ever got it back. I don't think she realized just how big of a deal it was to me, and I moved on from there, but I remember that unicorn and taking it everywhere with me. Number 23, do you speak any different languages, and if so, how well? I do not consider myself someone who speaks another language. I did take Spanish and I did take Italian in high school and then college respectively. I do know some phrases, and most of the time, especially Italian, for some reason it really stuck with me more than Spanish, but if I hear it, I can kind of interpret it, but I do not consider that speaking it nor fluent in any way, shape, or form, so English is my primary language. Number 24, do you have any siblings? No, I am an only child. My parents talked about having another sibling for me, but it just wasn't in the cards. I kept them plenty busy, though. I was in so many different activities as a kid, and then when I really got into gymnastics, that was 20 hours a week outside of school, so they don't, from what they've said, they don't regret not having other children, but yes, I am an only child. Number 25, how would you describe your fashion sense? I have none. I love doing makeup. I love doing, dolling up my features, and I like jewelry, but when it comes to clothing and like fashion in that sense, my biggest thing is comfort. As a younger version of myself, I primarily wore sweats all the time. It was just something comfortable because a lot of times I was running around in a leotard for gymnastics. Number 26, what is your favorite restaurant? One of my favorite restaurants is Pagacha, which is the restaurant that my husband took me on for our first date. But my other favorite restaurant is a restaurant called Staggering Ox. It is in Missoula, Montana. It is a sandwich shop, but instead of your traditional sandwich, they bake these rolls and then they cut out the center of it and put the fillings for the sandwich in the bread, so it's like a bread cup. It is the most bizarre thing to hear explained to you, but if you're ever in Missoula and you get the chance to check out Staggering Ox, I highly recommend it. It is by far the best sandwich place I've ever been to, and just a really unique and innovative idea. Number 27, what are some of your favorite TV shows? My go-to TV shows are Friends, Gilmore Girls, and Smallville. I love TV, watching things on Netflix, and my husband and I do that a lot, but those are the things that I have. I have the entire Gilmore Girls series and the entire, not Friends, Smallville. I want to get Friends, but I have all of Smallville and all of Gilmore Girls, and I have watched those two shows probably 5 or 6 times each. Friends I have through Netflix, which I watch religiously also. They are just really good pick-me-up shows. So, number 28, are you a PC or a Mac girl? I don't really have a preference. I know that's really weird. And the next question is, what phone do you have? I have the iPhone 6 Plus. And the last question is, tell us one of your bad habits. And one of my bad habits is definitely picking at my skin. I have a tendency to pick at zits, as I poke the one I have right now. And it's just a bad habit that I have that I would love to break sometime. So with that, that wraps up this video. Please make sure to give it a thumbs up if you thought it was good or interesting. If you have any other questions for me, please feel free to leave them down below in the comment section. And please, 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 please don't forget to subscribe. If you subscribe, you'll be able to see when all of my upcoming videos pop up, and I promise you more tutorials are coming soon. So have a great night, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!